Well, this is hello YouTube. I'm about to record Moon, and I wanted to see the downfall of Dave Chappelle and show the corporations that
of the elites, only to become the very thing he warned us of.
Tough on the head, like sounds like. But you know this one thing, all those people are booing, and I'm just pointing out the obvious. They have terrible seats. I understand.
I've been recording because I've been
I don't think that festival would have been legitimate if I wasn't there. I'm not the biggest comedian, but my voice is sought after.
He went from the OG goat of comedy to one of the most out of touch. He forgot he was a comic and moved into the I'm a philosopher now level of fame. It happens to a lot of comics. Dude lived long enough to see himself become the villain. But what people miss is that Dave's change is the most important warning he's ever given us. And it's genuinely terrifying. After seeing his close comedy friends getting forcibly taken to psychiatric wards, threatened with death or worse, Dave then got the call to keep him in check.
And I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. This was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you.
Dave?
Yeah, Oprah sound like she nervous. Like I said, man, the reason why I'm making this reaction video is because things have been busy for me. Working my booty off to keep my loved ones safe. Gotta take it for the team, man. Then I gotta do this YouTube thing. I will be making some gaming videos, but I'm way too dang tired to make another video. I will finish up Dead Space if anybody's watching, which, let's be real, I doubt it. But I want to see what happened to Dave Chappelle
If, like many, thought he could just ignore the warnings and that they'd go away. He lives in a free country. He can speak without a hiccup.
I believe.
Not anymore. It used to be a free country. Now it's just, it's only free for the rich elites, the top elites. And it's funny too, because Andrew Tate thought he was one of the rich elites. He found out the hard way he wasn't part of the rich elite club. And he's about to lose everything. I don't know what he was accused of, but he's starting to regret making fun of the rich elites now.
That they gave me a raw deal because this fucking industry is a monster.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit.
Yes, after he received the message, the Dave we once loved would disappear forever. Once you realize what happened,
I think here's my opinion. I think the rich elites are either blackmailing him if he doesn't do what they say. If he doesn't get what they want, he's probably they're gonna freeze his assets. He's either become our puppet, or we're gonna do something terrible that you will never come from. Even our president of the United States is a puppet in human form.
and to Dave,
Dance,
you
monkey,
notice
dance.
it can happen to anyone. Just look at our culture closely enough and it all begins to connect. Whether it be the celebrity humiliation rituals, agents sent to your home to drug you against your will, I have you institutionalized again where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same. Or they'll use mass cancellation from every social media algorithm, media establishment and bank, and if that doesn't work, they may need to put you to sleep. I mean, do you ever wonder why the...
What the fuck do you mean? To put you to sleep? Like, they gonna shoot you to sleep? Or now that I think about it, I think that's how John F. Kennedy died, because he knew too much and he probably knew the Krabby Patty secret formula. They knew the Krabby Patty. He knew the Krabby Patty secret formula, so they put it to sleep and try to make it like it's a Russian lady that assassinated him. I think it was our own. I think that was our own government that just that assassinated John F. Kennedy. It wasn't the Russian. And let's continue.
elites behave so bizarrely, as if they've been drugged or are in some sense fearing for their lives. Well, it makes you wonder,
Are being blackmailed. Cause let's be honest. The elite are destroying our economy, destroying dating. Marriage is fucking abysmal. And now they're taking out entertainment and gaming. I'm like, oh boy. Like I said, anything woke turns to shit. Everything corporations touch just turns into ass. Like I said, everything corporation touches turns to capital ass.
what they said in that message to Dave Chappelle to turn one of the most outspoken critics of the elite into becoming just a mindless puppet. Well, for Dave, he would actually get his first warning in 2005. By then, he'd come from nowhere and was the GOAT of comedy. One of my faves, The Chappelle Show was a classic back in the day. He was so popular, the studio executives realized he was the perfect cash cow. So, they decided to give him the golden, irresistible offer, a $50 million contract for the third season of the show. But if he signed the contract, it wouldn't all be golden. How could he be a truth teller if he was bought out by the very people he was rallying against? You can't just take $50 million and then speak out against the people who gave you the money. After turning it down, Dave would then soon realize it isn't just that simple. As soon as he declined the contract, the full media machine was against him. Rumors and gossip began to spread. People thought he was addicted to crack now and checked himself into a psychiatric hospital. This was what the media wanted.
See, that's the thing about. This is how terrifying the rich elite are. They're destroying our countries. They're bringing migrants, and they're hiding the Epstein files. Buddy, if they got dirt on your ass, you better watch out. Give these motherfuckers a wide berth. Yeesh. They coming for your soul now, and now they coming for your booty cheeks.
Wanted you to think. Because not only had he turned down the contract, but he had also taken a flight straight to South Africa without telling a single person, not even his own family. But when Dave Chappelle eventually spoke out, he had very different things to say. Journalists eventually tracked him down and asked him about the rumors.
And then I got a call from a journalist that had been working on a story, and he was like, yeah, rumor mill's going on about you. Just want to clear a few things up. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Okay, do you smoke crack? I said, what? Do you smoke crack? Did you graduate from high school? I mean, it was all these crazy questions. And I thought about never coming back. I said, this place is crazy.
He later revealed the truth. The negotiations for the new season had descended into chaos, and his managers were allegedly trying to control him and put him on psychotic medication.
And then the next day it was in the paper that I had writer's block. Then I knew something was getting ready to get stressful because I hadn't even started writing. I was on the schedule to write, so I was like, what's going on? Are they gonna...
So these are your people trying to feed...
Manipulate me. Sounds like somebody's trying to put young Dave in a compromising position.
It was like he was
That face says, that's the thing about corporations, buddy. That's the thing about corporations, government. You can never trust them. And like I said, if they got dirt on your ass, you better watch your back.
trying to warn the public about what really goes on behind the scenes of the elites. What happens when you don't toe the line, and how they try to put you in a psychiatric hospital.
You know, when you're a guy that generates money,
Yeah,
people have a vested interest in control.
yeah.
Chappelle then told Jim Breuer he was visited at his home by people high up in the industry.
And he was freaked out. I said, what's going on? And all I could say was he was visited. And when he told me who visited him, my heart stops for a second. I'm like, get the fuck. And I'll never forget, he went, you believe me, right? You believe me, Jim, right? He's like, they came to me. And he said the names. I'm like, get the fuck. And what happened? And then all of a sudden he went to Africa.
Yeah, that's what I remember happening, but they never really said what happened.
But I know for a fact.
He was corrected.
He said, correct.
Yeah.
Hey, by whoever it was. Hey, we need to have a conversation. Would you like some of your own coffee in your house? What? Yeah, like that heavy shit.
What more proof do you need that the rich elite are really the president of the United States? Like I said, Trump is a puppet. He's just a little dancing monkey. And dance, you little monkey. Dance, Trump. You must do as we say, or else. Or we're gonna expose you for being a disgusting human being. Be our slaves. What more proof do you need that the rich elite are saying you will own nothing and you will be happy? Why are we selling out our country? For profit.
But then it gets even worse when Jim describes a conversation they had after filming that shows just how paranoid they both were about the situation.
He goes, be careful. I said, what are you talking about? I know, he goes, no, man, be careful. I said, why do you... He goes, you're next. I can see the way they're looking at you. That's exactly what he said to me. You're next. I see exactly how they're looking at you. Be careful, Jim. Please tell me be careful. And I didn't understand exactly what he was visualizing or what he saw, but I knew it came from such a deep place. I heard him loud and clear.
Going through this was his first taste of how the elites really operate, as the situation wasn't an isolated incident. Martin Lawrence was very close to both Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, and in the mid-90s he was reaching the peak of his career as a stand-up comic and Hollywood actor. But things took a turn for the worst when he had a very public psychotic episode. He was found by police.
A comedian, Martin Lawrence, ran into the streets and yelling at cars with a pistol in his pocket. The comedian Lawrence ran into the traffic. I can't read what that says. In Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks on Tuesday, crashing and screaming at oncoming cars until he was taken away by police and hospitalized to authorities. Damn, I didn't think the rich elite were this fucking corrupt. I mean, I've seen corrupt shit, but this is god tier corrupt.
In Los Angeles on Ventura Boulevard with a loaded gun in his pocket and was yelling at cars shouting, "Fight the establishment." Although it looked like a case of paranoia or psychosis, his publicist put out a statement saying he had suffered from complete exhaustion and dehydration. This is something that's weirdly
I call bullshit on that. I call absolute
Just
bullshit.
think of how many famous artists, celebrities, and influencers you've seen who've just gone completely nuts all of a sudden. Suddenly they're checked into a psychiatric ward, and then finally relentlessly mocked by the media. So Martin too, of course, was clowned on relentlessly by the tabloids, and his friend Dave Chappelle used this as the perfect example of the horrific state of America's Hollywood culture.
So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, "They are trying to kill me"?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Or just look at Kanye. As soon as he started speaking out after earning billions of dollars and becoming a global megastar, he'd soon realized they even had agents within his own home, where suddenly his personal trainer of all people...
I'm going to help you once I once one of complete one of the couple's ways. Holy shit, this is nuts. But you see this shit, you can ignore this no more. Damn. Damn, the rich elite are just going around destroying everything.
Would send him the warning to take his medications and go back to zombie land. At a certain point, you have to sit there and think. If you're Dave, you're a comedian but truth teller at heart. You know what will happen if you continue to resist the temptation, all the millions of dollars and public adoration. You've seen what they do to other celebrities, the humiliation rituals, the cancellation, the drop.
Yeah, because the rich elite are just basically making you dance like a monkey. We pay you. We sell your soul.
Now give us your soul. Now dance, you monkey. Dance. We own you body and soul.
druggings and mysterious deaths. And so Dave knew how hard it would be to expose them. They have all the lawyers, they have all the money, they have all the connections, they control the media. You say anything out of line, they can destroy you. So what would you do? Expose
Even
the system,
politics?
or just live in peace and enjoy your life in riches? Well, Dave, like many of us would, chose the latter, quitting the spotlight for 10 years to focus on his own family. He could finally live in peace in the countryside, away from all the gossip, media, and sociopathic elites. Quickly, the
Not sociopath, it's genocidal psychopathic elites, because they just wants to... I think the rich elite just wants to see the whole world burn. I'm
years
getting
would
off topic.
pass and the world changed. The culture war began to ramp up, and Trump
That's right,
was elected.
bitch.
Days after Trump became president, Dave reappeared on the biggest mainstream comedy show in the world, SNL. Nobody had any idea he'd come back. It was an incredible thing to see. The viewership generated tens of millions of views. He'd finally come back for round 2. But this time, fans would notice something was different about Dave. But quickly, I just wanted to pause and say how many of you have told us you've just been randomly unsubscribed from the channel. Or maybe you're just not subscribed to begin with. So if there was one free and easy thing you could do to help us, my team, and everyone here to keep this show free, it's just to hit that subscribe button. With your support, I'll make sure every single week, every single year, we work to uncover information nobody else wants to talk about.
I'm
and show you
trying
the
to
really
figure
ugly
out
parts of
how
the
to
world
make
that needs
sure I
exposing
make
now
YouTube.
more than ever. So please make sure to subscribe to the channel, it really helps out. Now let's continue with the video. To understand
already
what happened to
subscribed.
Dave and why, we need to look at what could have happened during those years away from the spotlight. In Cat Williams' podcast with Shay Shay, he said the contract situation barely scratches the surface of the full story, but he explains it with deliberately vague terms.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Usually money is how elites break you.
I think the rich elite did sound. I really did believe, because I did believe that they just charged Bill Cosby, because there was no way Bill Cosby was like that, because ever since I think he turned down something because like something didn't add up, because I know they ruined Bill Cosby. Because it was like when I first heard that he did some sexual assaults and rapes, I'm like, run me by that again. Bill Cosby accusing for some sexual assaults and rapes. I just think the rich elite just accused him for something he didn't do, and they tried to control his ass, and he was like, nah, I don't want to go through with this anymore. I was like, okay, we're gonna run your reputation to the mud. Make sure you get rid of him permanently.
Why not just pay off the truth tellers with tens of millions of dollars so that they are under contract to stay within the limits? But when they don't take the contract, what do? Well, you make them realize the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I mean, once you have tens to hundreds of millions of dollars, no matter who you are, you'll always struggle to relate to your past. To make that kind of money, you have to move to the cities to be connected to the right opportunities. You have to turn your back on your heartland in favor of pop culture. Your home suddenly becomes a stop-off route in transit. The only people who can relate with you are elites with the money and freedom to enjoy the same lifestyle as you. The homes you want are in the same isolated, gated communities as these people. So once you enter the elites, you never really go back. Dave knew this, and he said he would do everything to go against this. It's why he bought out most of his town in Ohio, to invest in small-town America and protect the town himself. He'd do everything in his power to stay away from the toxic Los Angeles lifestyle. Or so he says. I mean, you can't just become world famous and rich without your personal life dramatically changing. Behind the scenes, he was beginning to hang out with people like Diddy at his house. All the A-list stars, Hollywood elites and billionaires became Dave's new circle. But of course, if Dave let these influences seep into his comedy, it would turn his fanbase against him. So in that same year of 2016, after his SNL skit, he performed his 2016 Netflix special, where he talked about his sympathy for Trump voters and how they didn't even realize that Trump doesn't represent them. It's a profound warning.
It's true, because we thought Trump was going to help us out, but I guess the rich elite came in and it's like, oh, we're going to help the people. Stop right there. You going to help the commoners? Not on our watch. It's either you help us out, make us more money, or we're gonna ruin your whole fucking career, Trump. It's either our way or the highway, buddy. And we're not gonna let you get away with this. Do what you say, dancing monkey. If we tell you to jump, you jump. If we tell you to eat shit, you eat shit.
That seems to have come true to many today. He said, I know the game now. I know that rich white people call poor white people trash. And the only reason I know that is because I made so much money last year, the rich whites told me they say it at a cocktail party. The fans loved it. Well, no doubt, funniest comedian on the planet. Maybe these elite connections were actually helping his comedy, as they gave him insights into what the system was really like. Finally, he could speak from within it to warn the public about it. So the years continued, the jokes were landing, and his popularity was reaching all-time highs. He was now cemented as the GOAT of comedy. Dave is getting more wise than funny, and yet somehow still the funniest guy in the room. Dave was at the top. Anyone and everyone wanted to hang around him, even Elon Musk. So much so that Dave even invited Elon Musk on stage at a show in 2022. But it was in this moment that Dave realized something was wrong.
Cheers and booze, I said.
The crowd, for the first time in Dave's career, booed him for nearly 5 minutes straight. To silence them, he would even laugh at the fans for just being poor.
Hey, wait a minute. Those of you who were
Like I said, I think he's just being blackmailed and doing that shit.
tough on the head, it sounds like. But you notice one thing? All those people are booing, and I'm just pointing out the obvious. You have terrible seats. I understand.
And his fans definitely weren't happy about this. Just realized that Dave regrets not taking the money in 2004. I think he realized that the world moved on without him and he never got over it. He saw people with no scruples make large sums of money and comedians half as talented make millions. And he said, let me go back and get my money. But with that mentality, the dominoes would continue to fall for Dave. The Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia was the wake-up call. Bill Burr had his reputation rightfully demolished for it, as his backlash against the fans was truly ugly. Other comedians like Tim Dillon just refused to go outright, knowing that if they went, they would lose their entire audience. But the money was tempting, so what did Dave Chappelle decide? Reject the
It's really true, but to say Satan's the like I said, the devil must be a charismatic guy, because if he can just convince you to just press a button that could kill millions, I'm like, bruh, he convince you to do anything, shit. Probably the root of all evil, I guess. Money and corporate greed is a tempting thing. When you take strong drugs, there's no way you're going back, bro.
Invitation and stand on his original principles, or take the dirty dictatorship money. Well, soon it was announced that Dave Chappelle would not only perform, but would be the headline act.
They said, well, Saudi Arabia killed a journalist, and rest in peace, Jamal Khashoggi. I'm sorry that he got murdered in such a heinous. Also, Israel's killed 240 journalists.
Dave's line about Saudi Arabia has only killed one journalist is such a disgusting lie, it's actually nuts. Beyond that, there is no way he is so dumb he doesn't know.
But I think he's getting blackmailed. That's the only way. Either the rich elite are just blackmailing him to do what he says, or they're going to do something terrible to his loved ones. He's stuck in a rock and a hard place, and he knows he can't get back out of it.
They have been doing a genocide in Yemen. Dude lived long enough to see himself become the villain. And Dave even claimed he was critical for the Riyadh Comedy Festival's success.
I got all that flack for doing that festival in Saudi Arabia, but in Saudi, I don't think that festival would have been legitimate if I wasn't there. I'm not the biggest comedian, but my voice is sought after. In Saudi Arabia, for like the last 20 years, they've been doing, really maybe 15 years, they've been trying to do comedy shows in Saudi Arabia. Underground shows. The jokes were like contraband. These shows would happen in people's homes. They would happen in embassies. You know, comedians like Maj Jabrani and guys like this. Yeah. They've been going over there for years and doing these shows.
But privately.
Quietly. It wasn't, close to being private. Whatever, I don't know what their laws are.
But for the elites, basically. People who...
Not for necessarily the elites. In Riyadh, that crowd watching that comedy, the first time the government let them even see something like this, it was like a baby tasting sugar. If I had choked a tiger out, they couldn't have been more impressed. They were screaming.
You think you're creating space for them?
I mean, at the very least, and this is not nothing, that must have felt incredibly cathartic. If you can't say everything you want to say, but you see somebody model that behavior, oh man, you're gonna want it. So if you think of all the violence and all the things we export to the Middle East, I think our culture is the best export we got.
But
I didn't feel wrong being up there.
My voice is sought after. Oh my god, the rich and famous are such pathetic losers. I've been a Dave fan the majority of my life, but he was gaslighting heavy on this special. One of the richest stand-up comedians in the history of stand-up comedy saying he needed to do the Riyadh thing so he can get more money so he can be free. That's crazy when you realize he literally made history for how much he made with just 3 Netflix specials. He's one of the wealthiest comedians on planet Earth, so that's just cap. But Chappelle now thought this was all worth it, and that his fans' obsession with clean money was a paradoxical way of viewing the problem.
I guess it's really true what they say, man. To be an entertainer in Hollywood, you really got to sell your soul, because even Elvis Presley, they thought he was just a racist, but I just think the rich elite just turned him into a dancing puppet. They worked him till he had nothing left to give, and after he had nothing to give, they threw his ass away like a piece of trash. It's like, oh, just like Mr. Krabs, just sucking all the jelly out of them and then tossing them away like useless, and tossing them away like a useless pack of trash, like a bag of dog shit.
If you want to be that pure about money, then stop driving your car, stop eating, don't use your cell phone. Everything is tethered to something that's just terrible. And I can make a million excuses or reasons to deprive that crowd of that show. But man, when I was standing in front of them, I feel like I did the right thing. Our governments are going to ruin everything for us. We'll never get to know each other if we just do everything that they want to do.
He's not wrong on that part, because I know our government's really just tearing everything fucking apart. They're tearing down homes. We can't afford homes. Shit, if you're an average schmuck, buddy, if you want to get a date, good luck, buddy. If you don't got the looks, you don't got the money, or you don't got this, you're gonna have to. And I know in dating in the future, you have to have big money. If you don't got that, buddy, fuck off. Women ain't gonna look at your direction.
Or function on the terms that they want us to function. They don't even really know what's going on.
In another interview with PBS, he elaborated on this.
And if they could have seen that crowd screaming like I was doing magic tricks just for jokes, it's like watching a baby taste sugar. How satisfying is it if you can't say everything you want to say, and then you see a guy just saying anything? Man, that's inspiring. That's empowering. Yo, they need to know that that's like the last great thing we got in America, and they're threatening that.
The Saudi Arabian royal family represents everything wrong with modern society. They're the direct opposite of freedom of speech. They're all about crony capitalism, something that the old Dave Chappelle was clearly against. He was supposed to be just a regular guy, but now he comes across as having a little bit of a comedy messiah complex, pronouncing how essential he was to be there. But you can see in these interviews that he's clearly uncomfortable talking about it. It's probably why he rejected...
Like I said, they got him in chains. They got him like this. And now, do as we say or else we're going to do something terrible to you.
The offer many times before, and only accepted the offer when he saw other comedians would join too. But when you piece it all together, you instead just see a man who's sick of the fight. He was sick of the fight all those years ago and leaving all the money on the table. Now he just wants to get the cash and give up the fight. From looking at stories today about Dave Chappelle, it seems like he's a pretty big drinker nowadays, which is honestly just depressing.
It was exactly what you said. We walk into the Comedy on State, it's at the club, it's just everybody writing, just trying to get close to Chappelle.
Yes.
And then I stand there and everyone's like real f***ed up because it's like 1 a.m. And it's like I don't really want to be here.
Yeah.
I got video games back at the hotel.
They're all getting ready to go get IV drips.
Yeah. And having a $400 brunch in the morning. And so I was just chilling there like, I don't know if this sucks. And then Chappelle was hammered and walked by me, and in a way that he was drunk that I was like, yeah, f*** this. And I just left. And then ever he's had a ton of comedians ball, like he'll have like a comics ball here in New York.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's always the same thing. It's just everyone writing him.
It's disgusting.
Eventually the threats and warnings do their damage. Why fight back? Why have the will to fight even more? Eventually Kanye even faced the same fate too. Just disappearing, taking the money, performing, and never speaking about anything ever again. And while Kanye might be an outlier here, just name anyone who used to speak out against the establishment, and more often than not, they are broken down until they have no choice but to take the money and stay quiet. Or they're cancelled and just made irrelevant forever. This way it means that once you've compromised the comedians and truth tellers, you have compromised all avenues of legitimate pushback.
It's really sad to see, it's a great video, but I'm just gonna say, I think the only reason is because they really broke this man. Because if the rich elite just probably just beating him until he was forced to do what they say. It is pretty fucked up, but that's how the industry is. I feel bad for him, man. It's just fuck. They really want you to own nothing and be happy. That's just so fucked up. They hate These people hate you, and they're not even hiding it anymore. They want you eradicated. These rich elites just want you eradicated. Nothing more, nothing less. If you enjoyed this video, guys, leave a like or subscribe to my channel, the Angelo Creed Gaming. I will finish Dead Space. Once again, guys, I have tried to get my voice into the actual games. There's nothing I can do. And besides, I'm the only guy who's editing these videos. It's just me and nothing else with a limited budget. I do like making videos, I'm not gonna lie, but I will finish it sooner or later, but unfortunately I am extremely busy. I think that's all I can say. See ya. Oh yeah, I have an Instagram channel if you want to check that out. Be my guest. Still the name, Angelo Creed. I even make videos on Instagram too. See ya and have a nice day. Ta-ta.